Rube Goldberg was a 19th century creator, writer, and enthusiast of the creative mind. He wrote for several renowned newspapers, eventually beginning the schematics for his Rube Goldberg machines, devices that used a series of complex actions to create a simple task. He was a creative, interesting man that created a new era of thinking for all designers, architects, and engineers. Likewise, an equally great woman, Whoopi Goldberg, is known wide and far for her impressive set of assets. Connecting her to this project has been a personal pleasure, since only her name connects her.
Step 1. Identify the problem. For us, the problem was simple. We were enrolled in Engineering 101 and we were assigned a project. Specifically, we were assigned the Rube Goldberg, which is an overcomplicated machine tasked with doing a simple objective, which ours was get a quarter in a cup. We had to incorporate 6 simple machines, namely a wedge, inclined plane, wheel and axle, pulley, and lever. We had to comply with some rules that included size constraint, sequential operation, minimal reset time, and unfortunately we had to avoid using dangerous projectiles and explosives.
Step 2. Imagine the solutions. So to begin, we clearly had the plan. We met in Tally, equipped with notebooks, pencils, and 3D rendering software, and created some initial sketches. When we finally had one that seemed pretty promising, we made plans to meet at the craft center and receive advice regarding materials from the workers there. Upon arrival at the craft center, we approached the workers for counseling and were then rejected and told they weren't allowed to help us plan it. After we dried a few tears, we decided we just had to jump right in it and begin construction using exclusively wood scraps from the scrap pile.
Step 3. Create. Our creation process was very fluid. Many of our improvements to the design occurred as we went along. When we added our first machine, the inclined plane, we used a drill to screw the support beams into the baseboard by turning it upside down. This worked for that one machine, but we knew it wouldn't later as we added more and more pieces. Then, we remembered there was this really cool invention called L brackets that would enable us to attach pieces to the baseboard without testing the strength of screws versus gravity every time. From that point, we were able to secure each machine to the baseboard with relative ease and proceed accordingly.
Step 4. Test and improve. Upon completion, we tested the project. We were just positive it wouldn't work. It didn't. This was a point where we faced a lot of our design challenges. For example, one of our main issues was that the force of the cup attached to the pulley was not great enough to move the lever. To fix this, we added more weight to the side of the lever with a quarter to make it as close to tipping as possible. Aesthetically, it wasn't the best addition, but we cleverly, or maybe not so cleverly, claimed the lever was now supposed to resemble a cross that could tie into our team name by referencing the movie Sister Act, starring none other than Whoopi Goldberg.
Another issue we faced was that the wheels of our smaller car would sometimes get stuck underneath the 2 wedges. Seeking a solution, we wandered to the scrap pile and found a square rod that fit perfectly in the gap between the plane and the wedges.
Now that the car did not get stuck, we found that sometimes it would miss the cup entirely. We used the universal solver of all problems, duct tape, and attached another cup to the end of the screw, as well as putting a backboard behind the cup. This ensured that the car would fall into the cup attached to the pulley consistently.
We took our project to the F.E.D. competition, demonstrated its functions to judges, and impatiently awaited the results. After hearing the results from almost every other project, quite literally, Rube Goldberg was up next, and we won. Each and every single shirt said winner, but we got second place, but technically we could have got first and no one would know that. So, same thing. Our hard work had paid off, and now we could rest assured that we would be successful engineers for the rest of our lives, and millionaires, and all that good stuff. And thank you for F.E.D. for proving this to us.
Start very early.
Get started early.
Is I would have got started earlier, had a clear idea of what we're doing, and also just attend more and be a lot more focused in what our job was. And more time for creativity, because creativity is why we won.
For freshmen coming into state, I would put a lot of emphasis into time management. I know it might seem, just basic classes that, seem mundane, but you use those classes going forward.
Make sure also at the beginning that all your schedules will have good times where you can meet, because Sometimes it would be difficult for us to all get in the work sessions together at the same time, so it's really beneficial when you can have full participation.
Also, make sure you explore tons of possibilities with designs, that way you don't pigeonhole into one idea. And really just try to have a bunch of fun with it, be creative. We had a lot of fun with ours, so that's the most important thing.